Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
Faster and easier than anywhere else through the Infinity Healing Modality that I created 15 years ago, which has been voted one of the most fastest result-based healing modalities in the world based on one of the best healing summits that work with all the modalities. And I'm also a conscious rap artist and a poet.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode.
Planning for your legacy should be empowering. That's why we've partnered with Tim Gorman, author of Tangled Legacy, Turning Estate Planning Mistakes into Successes, your essential guide to building wealth and securing your family's future. Invest in your legacy. Learn more about workshops, classes, and one-on-one coaching at dgrealtyadvisors.com. Ready to go from financial stress to financially thriving? At Money Essentials for Women, we provide coaching and resources to help you reach your biggest financial goals with ease. From early retirement and debt payoff to home ownership, career growth, and more. Learn more and set up a free consultation with one of our expert coaches at www.money-essentials.com. Hi, Tarek. Thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure, Marta. Let's co-create some magic.
Yes, I'm so excited. You have so many fun things going on, especially in the musical space. I'm in the music space as well, so that's always fun for me. But without further ado, tell us who you are and what you do, and we'll dive in.
Yes, so I feel I've been an empath my whole life, more sensitive than some of the most sensitive empathic women that I know. So I have that ability to tap into emotions, energies, and I can pinpoint people's core blocks in a matter of seconds and hold space for them to clear their biggest traumas. I've been helping people manifest their financial goals in record time, whether it's 10K, 20K, up to 50K per month. Faster and easier than anywhere else through the Infinity Healing Modality that I created 15 years ago, which has been voted one of the most fastest result-based healing modalities in the world based on one of the best healing summits that work with all the modalities. And I'm also a conscious rap artist and a poet. So I'm here to just inspire, to motivate. My guarantee is that we leave our listeners more activated than at the end of this call than they did coming in.
That is amazing. I love that. Now I'm curious about the journey because you said you've always been an empath and understand that world. How did you get into doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah, it was a hero's journey of just getting bullied every day at school, being told I was stupid, I'm a failure, I'd get the lowest grade. So I associated self-worth with grades. And I was so shy and quiet as a kid, and then I stepped more into like an Aries energy that I have, and I became the rebel, and I'd get kicked out of classes and just put down a lot. I was put down almost on a daily basis. I felt like my spirit would get crushed every day. So feeling lesser than. And so my journey's always been, and growing up, born in Jordan, dad's Lebanese, mom Syrian, and just seeing women not being treated equally. I was a feminist at age like 6, I guess. So always rooting for the underdog and helping. So my mission is to help women healers or spiritual women and men hold space for them to fully align with their purpose, their missions in life. And a lot of the people I work with have this witch hunt where they feel that if they're in their full power, something bad will happen to them. So healing those wounds of being afraid of being in your full power. But I've seen power in its negative abuse, and I've seen it in me in my own shadow, but I also see it when it's used consciously, and it's just a beautiful thing. So my mission in life is to help heal the inner child because I've been through a lot. Boundaries, for healing your relationship with your mother, your father, forgiving those who have wronged you, and then also then stepping into your life purpose. When I was getting fired from every job you can imagine, and then I found my purpose and I'm thriving from it, I'm like, okay, how can I help everyone else do the same? Because if we all do it, we'll create heaven on earth.
Oh, wow. So much to unpack there. I would love for you to touch on healing the inner child, which has everything to do also with your relationship with your parents. You mentioned being bullied and that being the beginnings of what you're doing right now. Can you tell us more about how you guide people through that and the importance of this process?
Yeah, so I went into $30,000 of debt trying to get results 15 years ago. And thanks to that frustration, I found there was core things that need to be addressed in order to get those results. Are we feeling safe with the person that we're working with? Are our receptivity channels fully open? Is our mind resisting, sabotaging, blocking the way? So the process addresses all these things. We allow the highest self to choose what to work on as well as what the client wants to work on. But for me, it was this process where I imagined the person who's wronged me, have my inner child there. Step one is allow the inner child to express the things it never got to express, to feel heard in them, to ask the other person for what it would like. I would like for you moving forward not to scream at me and instead do this. Can you apologize for that? Can you acknowledge that? So even if we've had it done where people, the mom and dad are not even physically on earth and they still get the healing. And then we've had people who have never, their dads just have never haven't spoken for years. And then just through that visualization, they'll get a call from the dad the next day and they're like, listen, son, I support you in whatever you're doing. So that's a real core part of the work that I do, the forgiveness process. It's the heart. And it takes a lot of courage to do it. So it's one of the hardest things I have to do. And I find I'm pretty ballsy. So to hold space for others to do it is, it's easier when someone else has done it. So yeah, the inner child then gets integrated into the sacred heart space so that it doesn't feel disenfranchised. It's not integrated, it's fully there in the heart. And we set an intention that every time the heart beats, it's receiving love, it's receiving support, nurturing, feeling seen, feeling heard, all the things that didn't get to experience. So the biggest breakthrough about that is just because things happen in the past, it's not written in stone. We can rewire our DNA, we can rewire our stories. That's another important part. What core stories, what key stories did we create in our biggest traumas? So let's say dad was being hard on me. I created this story that said my dad hates me, which is not true. So we pinpoint what story was created in that moment, because then I spent 10, 20 years in victim mode and creating a reality where I'm not good enough just because of that one story I came up with.
Right.
So there's a self-forgiveness part, there's a pinpointing the story and changing the story, which changes your life.
Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. I love that. And I imagine that that is the foundation to releasing those money blocks. You were telling us about helping people manifest their money goals. Can you tell us more about how you guide them through that?
Yeah, so this infinity healing technique, there's the forgiveness process, which is like my day to day for 15 years is someone, usually a woman healer wanting to make more money or spiritual entrepreneur wanting to make more money. And every session we pinpoint something from age 5, age 6, age 7. So we can very quickly pinpoint the root of what's blocking the money now. Because as a child, our money was attention, was love, it was care, nurturing, right? So there's a lot of traumas where the child wanted something and they got neglected, felt abandoned. So now they're still playing out that story, except with money, with work, with love, relationships. So we pinpoint it, we do the forgiveness process, we find out the stories of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, no one cares about me. All these beliefs, all these fears, all these emotions like guilt, shame, blame, anger, rage. So we pinpoint beliefs, fears, emotions, and then we work on root traumas. And then we set it to work on ancestral as well. Sometimes we're replaying, I had to clear, my granddad lost everything. He was born in Palestine and he lost everything before in 1947 and then re-lost it again during the Civil War when he moved to Lebanon. So that that ancestral pattern needed to be alchemized because I was going through that up and down as well. And then if the audience, the client believes in past lives, we also clear. Just the other day, there was a client, no matter how much money she made, she always spent it. And there was a vow. She was a nun in the past life. And she vowed off, she swore off of money and just to be devoted to God. So whenever money came, she would immediately go, no, I swore an oath not to receive money. So we cleared that oath, that contract.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Now I'm curious about how music comes into play? Is that something that came after, during? Tell me more.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby, so growing up it was like rock and roll and hip hop. And well, it really spoke to me because you can say so much in one song more than any genre. You could say so many things
Yeah,
in
so true.
in one song. And words are my biggest gift. Words, I'm a wordsmith, and I use words consciously to uplift because we're stuck in a reality where words are spells and they're being misused. So imagine using that for to inspire, to empower. So yeah, just got into hip hop, started writing poetry, and they would just flow like a stream of consciousness. And people started telling me to record them, and now there's 5 albums and several music videos. And I actually put a silent infinity healing into every song. So if you go to Indigo Profit on all streaming platforms, there's 5 albums worth. Each song has an activation to empower, to heal. Like we have one for the witch hunt wounds. If
Oh,
someone feels like they were hunted down as witches or whatever, there's a song called Pachamama about that. Or if they're not stepping into their leader or their power, there's a Leo anthem song. There's a goddess anthem song. There's one about forgiveness in the song. So yeah.
I love that. And so are you going to share with us one of your
Yeah.
poems?
Yeah, I'll do one verse. So this one's from a song in the Rainbow Warriors album called Phoenix from the Fire. I believe in just one thing, infinite abundance for all beings, so we can live like kings and queens, doing what makes our hearts sing. I believe in the new currency of trust and of equality for my brothers and sisters, because we all came here to be. We all came from the source. We've come a long way from home. We've got a long way to go. Share with everyone that you know. Everything they told us is wrong. Ever since the time we were born, we got to break free from this prison planet we're on. So don't hate on us when we're sharing our love. We just want to liberate you so you can rise up above. We're made of the same stuff. We're made of the same dust. If we can regain trust, then we will remain tough. Separation's a lie. Evolution's a lie. Don't believe in everything that you can see with your eyes. And we're banging our drums because the time has now come. Let's take a stand for what is right until we have won. Let's take a stand for what is right until we have won.
I love it. So good. Wow, such an empowering message. Now I want to listen to it with the beat. That's fun.
Oh, thanks,
I have to go find it. So you said Indigo Prophet. That's the
Indigo
artist name?
Prophet, like Prophet.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
make sure and add that to the show notes, but that's
Thanks.
fun.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing it with us. So tell me how you work with clients then. Is it mostly one-on-one? How can somebody begin the process? What are the offers?
So many options. The best way to, because we've got a inner circle, which is a live group once a month, and a distance healing once a month, and daily energy transmissions. We've made it as affordable as possible. They get access to 5 of my healing programs. But through TarekBibi.com, you can just reach out to me. We can hop on a call. I can give you some intuitive what I'm feeling the blocks are, and then share what the best solution for you. There's a 6-month container, a 12-month container. Most of my one-on-one clients do the 6-month container.
Okay.
And they're the ones who've gotten like life purpose alignment, manifested dream soulmate, like the best relations. They went from narcissistic relationships to like someone who's like, don't have to work. I'll take care of you. I'm paying for everything. Heart-centered,
Mhm.
and that they're stepping into their full purpose, where there were closet healers or closeting the spiritual part, and then the financial abundance is kind of the most common result that people get. And then
Hey, let me ask you a question. Would you like to be my next guest on the Empowered Woman podcast? Do you have a story you'd like to share? Want more visibility for your business on a show ranked in the top 0.5% in the world? Well, then head on over to martasburg.com/podcast guest for more information.
yeah, so tarekbibi.com. There's like 15 healing programs I've created. So many options. There's the Infinity Healing Technique we're actually teaching in December, so you can be an infinity healer yourself. Yeah.
I love that. Well, especially you've been doing this for several years now. I know you have lots of stuff out there to offer. And when you were talking about yourself, you mentioned getting aligned with your ultimate purpose. And now you just said helping people, especially in the 6-month container. can you share maybe some stories you just did about relationships, but especially in terms of finding your purpose? Because I know that's a big one for people.
Yeah. Like I was just working with someone who concluded her 6 months. So while we were in the 6 months, my goal is whatever people invest with me, that they get it back doubled. And she literally doubled her investment. So more than doubled. She while we're doing the 6 month container, there was an extra 2,000 that she was manifesting. And she realized that the one modality she was doing, which was feng shui, that her heart and soul weren't aligned in it. So that's tricky when someone's like, I want to make money from this passion, but then you realize that's not your passion. That's why you're not making the money, because your soul's trying to tell you there's something else. And then she discovered what she's really passionate about, and it's got to do with branding and colors and all that kind of stuff. And she's transitioned into that. Another client I worked with was holding back all her herbology. She goes and harvests herbs from Mother Earth that are healing. She's so invested in it. She has a whole room filled with them, but she wasn't doing anything with them. And now she's at festivals, at trade shows, at markets, packaging, pricing them, and getting them out there to the world. And I love her story because she never charged for healing before. And I was like, Vanessa, it's in your soul. You don't need this. Jesus didn't have a Reiki certification before he did healing, right? Like healers just have it. We're empaths. We hold space, healing occurs. And she never charged for healing. And I helped her get rid of her limiting story. She called her first potential couple client. They signed up to work with her after our first session together, and they signed up for a $6,000 package. So it could happen fast if you want it. And those are good stories. Those are inspiring.
That is great. And I love that you mentioned at times we want to force how we make money, right? It has to come from this right here. And turns out maybe that's not even your passion. It's just something you created. Back to the stories, right? What you were saying, I really resonated with that. Maybe your dad yelled at you and then you created a story, he hates me. And that's just not true. So having someone to guide you through this process and really see things from a different perspective can make such a difference.
Big time. And now my more exciting thing is, let's create passive income. Let's really challenge manifestation. So one of my clients, Dr. Tiana, she's been in our inner circle for like 3 years now. And one of the first things she experienced was signing up with an MLM, multi-level marketing, that she was so not into at all as a spiritual healer, but she got the guidance to do it. And it's a spiritual product that helps you with your health. And she made close to 50,000 passive. And we have it on a video where she shares that. So I love playing with, let's test the boundaries in terms of what's possible and dream bigger than ever before. But bigger than making money and purpose is, can we all reclaim our infinite freedom, empowerment, and sovereignty? And through our inner child, we can enter the kingdom of heaven, which is within. So we got to be in that childlike state, which means healing the inner child, aligning with our purpose. So we become the solution to one of the problems on our earth, on our planet, and then thriving on all levels, not just like, let's not just experience financial abundance, let's experience financial freedom. There's a lot of solutions that are we need to implement in order to make it through what's coming our way. And I've got a free 3-day event called the Infinite Abundance Retreat happening end of this month. And I'm going to be sharing the blueprint for the new earth, and bigger than how things have been. We really need to adapt in order to thrive in this new earth.
I love that. I was just going to ask, besides your offers, you have your music out there. What are some of the free resources that you have? So you have this event coming up. What else?
Yeah, and you can get that through my website. Just signing up, we'll send it to you through the newsletter. And then we've got the free gifts. So if you go to tarekbibi.com/gifts, you can get one of my albums called Ascension 777, which has a bunch of great songs as well as healing activations. There's an MP3 called Healing for Empaths, everything to do with having healthy boundaries, shielding, protecting yourself so you're not taking on energies from the collective, which is so important now. And then the manifestation process that had, I don't know if it was like definitely over 200,000 views on my last YouTube channel that got hacked. And you'd see every day someone saying, wow, it actually worked. I got my job. I got my partner. So we included that as well as other gifts in that link.
I love that. Well, and I know you want to guide us through something special in a minute, but before, let me ask you the final question that I ask somewhat final question, because I'll have you share how people can connect with you besides the website and all of that. But I always ask guests when they're women, since the name of the show is The Empowered Woman, what is an empowered woman? But I'll ask you, what is an empowered human?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, I would say an empowered human is able to speak their truth unapologetically. They're able to be themselves unapologetically. That part of us that is the biggest, most powerful part, a lot of us have it suppressed. So, integrating the healthy aspects of the shadow and expressing them fully. If you're weird, be very weird. If your character is quirky, be very quirky. So just full self-acceptance and authenticity is so important. Your most authentic self. What parts of you are you holding back? Because those might be the most brilliant, divine parts of yourself that maybe someone judged in your younger years and now it's suppressed. But when you share it, it's like, whoa, where were you hiding this the whole time? And that I feel like the spiritual, or like my brand is Warriors of Love. We're about to change the branding, but Warriors of Love. So whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, Buddhist, atheist, if you have that warrior spirit, you feel like you've come here for a reason. Those are my people, and my job is to help remind them who they are. So I think by remembering who we are, we cannot be controlled after that. Once we remember, you can't forget.
Yes. Oh, that is powerful. I love that. Warriors of Love. So good. All
Thanks.
right. So guide us.
All right. So very simple. It took 2 seconds when a trauma happened to us. Someone told us we're failures or stupid or not good enough. We created that story in a second. So it can also take a second for us to let it go, because on some level we kept it. We could have said, no, that's not true, but we kept it, and we've been keeping it this whole time unconsciously. So you can just let it go just by saying yes. You allow source, God, universe to pinpoint core limiting beliefs, fears, emotions, and alchemize them and let them go. I don't like the word healing. I like, because you can get stuck on a healing hamster wheel. I like the word remembering, so taking back parts you forgot. So starting now, would you like an infinity healing to express your full authentic self and clear all limiting beliefs, fears, emotions, root traumas that are in the way of you being able to do that right now? Yes. And by saying yes, you're allowing source, God, universe to alchemize the limiting beliefs, download the new ones, alchemize the fears, replace them with what's best, alchemize the traumas, replace them with what's best. Would you like an infinity healing to clear all the limiting beliefs in the way of you being able to align with your ultimate soul's mission and purpose? Yes. To feel safe to embody it, to feel safe to express it, to feel safe to share it with the world. Yes. And would you like an infinity healing to clear some of the beliefs that are in the way of you being able to experience infinite financial freedom, abundance, and empowerment and sovereignty from your gifts and abilities? Yes. In fact, would you like an infinity healing to bring your entire being back into its divine blueprint and transmute the things that found their way into your being or your life that are not of the divine blueprint? Yes. And just imagine one thing that you're desiring to manifest. Imagine a ball of light in front of you, and imagine the qualities this thing's going to give you. How will you feel right now if you are experiencing this very thing? Place those qualities into the ball of light. Feel it as if it's happening right now. Allow your heart to place all it knows is best for you, your heart, your spirit, your soul. And allow source to magnify, multiply this manifestation ball of light times 1,000, times 1,000,000, times 1,000,000,000. Let it spread into your home, all your relations, all space-time dimensions, this whole planet, the whole universe. Let it explode and bless all beings everywhere to manifest all their heart's desires, and let it all come back to you a millionfold. Breathe that in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Please tune in your reality. See what you start to manifest from that process, what starts to shift in your life. And please let me know through tarekbibi.com. I'd love to hear it.
Love it. Thank you so much. That was so
Welcome.
calming. I love
Oh,
that. So,
I'm
well,
glad.
thank you for sharing all of these amazing gifts of yours. How can people connect with you? Where can they find you?
Through tarekbibi.com, we're just changing it right now. We'll have all the social media tags there, but on all socials, it's really Tarek Bibi. It might be Tarek Bliss Bibi, but Tarek, Tarek Bibi should be for for all the healing stuff. We're also starting to put out spiritual comedy, just making fun of ourselves
Ooh.
to, to lighten it up. Yeah. So there's the spiritual comedy, there's the healing activations, and the music is under Indigo Profit on all streaming platforms.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for the work that you're doing out there, empowering and encouraging everyone. I appreciate your time and sharing with us. This is great.
You're very welcome, Marta. You hold great space and you're a great host. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.